Hi friends, I'm Miss Sherry with Ventura County Library. Thank you for joining me tonight for Bedtime Stories. Let's start with a silly joke. Let's see, what do you call a cow that plays a trumpet? What do you call a cow that plays the trumpet? A musician. All right, friends, let's get settled in. Let's get our wiggles out. Let's get our thumbs ready and sing. My thumbs are starting to wiggle. My thumbs are starting to wiggle. My thumbs are starting to wiggle around and round and round. Hands. My hands are starting to wiggle. My hands are starting to wiggle. My hands are starting to wiggle around and round and round. Let's do arms. My arms are starting to wiggle. My arms are starting to wiggle. My arms are starting to wiggle around and round and round. Now let's do shoulders. My shoulders are starting to wiggle. My shoulders are starting to wiggle. My shoulders are starting to wiggle around and round and round. Let's do whole body. My body's starting to wiggle. My body's starting to wiggle. My body's starting to wiggle. Now let's all sit down. It's time to hear some stories and sing some songs. And we have to get ready for bed. What do we do to get ready for bed? We maybe wash our face or take a bath. We have to brush our teeth, put on our pajamas, maybe pick out a special lovey, and we have to read books and sing songs. Let's sing our song that we sing every week about reading together. You sing it with me, okay? The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. Read big books and small books and short books and tall books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. Nice singing, friends. Okay, tonight we have the story of the Three Billy Goats Gruff, the full story. Let's see what that is about. This is by Richard Jackson and Catherine Tillotson. And thank you to Athenaeum Books for letting us read this story tonight. Let's see. There are the three billy goats. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. And then look, there's that bridge. Do you know this story? The story of the three billy goats who tried to cross that bridge. Let's see what happens. So, here are the brothers Gruff. Big Billy Goat, Middle Billy Goat, and Little Billy Goat. They are famous because of a loudmouth bully boy under a bridge. Here he is. He's called Troll, and he thinks the bridge is his. All his. The river too, most likely. Just look at him. Gnarly toes curled around stones, saplings sprouting from his head and neck, and his breath. Whew! Now it happens that our three billy goats have chewed and chomped and swallowed up all the mountain grass on their side of the river. Still they are hungry. Beyond the bridge over the river, their cousins graze on the mountain opposite. Oh, that's where they want to go. That's where they are. That's where they want to go. But how can they get there? The only way looks like this bridge. So they are hungry. Beyond the bridge over the river, their cousins graze on the mountain opposite, where enough lush green grass grows for everyone. The brothers Gruff watch the cousins Gruff munching away, and, well, they are envious. These cousins are not famous. They are content. They have enough. They want nothing more. Unlike Big Billy, Middle Billy, and Little Billy, who want some of that green grass for themselves. But to get it, they must cross the bridge, where you know who is hiding, breathing his bilious breath and muttering. Because Troll 2 is hungry, fed to the teeth. And what teeth! Ooh, look at those teeth. With sticks and mud and green river scum, he longs for a meal of good goat. Imagine his mouth-watery joy when he sees the Gruffs coming his way down their mountain. Little Billy first, then Middle Billy, and Big Billy last. Troll hunkers. What do we do when we hunker? We're going to get down and get ready. And here's trip, trap, trip, trap. That's the sound of Little Billy's shiny, tiny hoofs above him. Trip, trap, trip, trap. Ah! Who is that tapping on my bridge? Asked Troll. Only I, Little Billy Goat of the Brothers Gruff, says Little Billy. On my way to see my cousins, please let me pass. Not before I gobble you up, you measly morsel, Troll booms from below. Wait, wait, says Little Billy. My bigger brother, Middle Billy, is following just behind, and he's a mighty meal compared to minuscule me. I'll eat you both, says Troll. I'm that hungry, and he reaches a scaly paw upward through the boards of the bridge. But Little Billy scampers past, just out of Troll's reach. Once across and over the river, Little Billy stops for breath, turns and hears trip, trap, trip, trap. That's the sound of not so little Middle Billy, medium-sized hoofs. Trip, trap, trip, trap. Who is that tapping on my bridge? Asked Troll. Ooh, that voice like a tornado. Only I, Middle Billy Goat of the Brothers Gruff, Middle Billy says, on my way to join my brother to visit our cousins on the mountain opposite. Kindly let me pass. Not before I gobble you up, you meaty modicum, Troll booms from below. Wait, wait, says Middle Billy. Our biggest brother, Big Billy, is following just behind. He's a meal-worthy mouthful compared to middling me. I'll eat you and him too, says Troll, his stomach churning something ferocious, and he reaches two scaly paws upward through the boards of the bridge. But Middle Billy slides past, just out of Troll's long reach. Once across and over the river, Middle Billy stops for breath, spies his little brother ahead, hi-hos, and turns to hear trip, trap, trip, trap. That's the sound of the not at all middle-sized Big Billy's huge hoofs. Trip, trap, trip, trap. Who is that tapping on my bridge? Asked Troll. That voice again, only worse, like a typhoon. Who do you think, Trolly? It is I, Big Billy Goat of the Brothers Gruff, says Big Billy, on my way to join my brothers and visit our cousins on the mountain opposite. Now let me pass. Or what, Billy boy, says the Troll. No, please, no kindly, well, no thank you, gruff stuff. With that, the Troll swings his whole scaly self up, up, up onto the bridge. I will gobble you up, I will, Troll bellows. Come on then, bully boy, Big Billy roars back. Just take a look at those two horns. Whew. And a gander at those four huge hoofs. Whoa. And then here's the famous part. BB boots Troll sky high into the air where Troll has never, ever been before. Ah, there he goes. Is that his stomach or his mouth? Muttering. Come on, Big Billy says to Brother Little and Brother Middle, and all three skitter up the mountain, join their cousins Gruff, and together they share the lush green grass as a family. Want to hear, Big Billy says to his cousins, about our troll below? He looks up, or our troll above. Yes, says the cousins, and they all stop chewing. Well, Billy Boy begins, as it so happens that the story is first told, the story, like all stories, of who wants what. And do they get it? Big Billy has one answer. So he tells the story one way, right? Middle Billy has another even better. And Little Billy has the best. At last the cousins Gruff want something. More, they cry. More of that story, please and kindly. They all had a different way of telling the story, huh? And they all remembered it differently, right? And they retold it again. What happens with stories? And poor Troll, does he want more of that story? What do you think? Does Troll want more? Or just a little peace and quiet, while he once again settles muttering, follows his sticks and mud and green rivers come. And that's the end. That's the Three Billy Goats Gruff, a full story. That's a classic story. I hope you enjoyed that one. And sometimes when we tell stories, we don't always need books, right? We can do something called an oral story. So we've been working on this one at other story times, but I'll teach it to you tonight. If you don't know it already, it's called Little Clapping Mouse. We'll sing it twice for practice, okay? We'll need our hands for clapping, and at the end of each line, we'll clap twice like this. Then we're going to sing, behind the tree and under the house, there lived a teeny tiny mouse. She loved to sing, she loved to tap, but most of all, she loved to clap. She clapped all night, she clapped all day, she clapped to frighten the cat away. You ready? I'm going to try it one more time. Let's sing. Behind the tree and under the house, there lived a teeny tiny mouse. She loved to sing, she loved to tap, but most of all, she loved to clap. She clapped all night, she clapped all day, she clapped to frighten the cat away. All right, friends, that's a fun oral story. There's all kinds of different ways to tell stories, even if we don't have a book handy, right? And we learned from the Three Billy Goats, there's different ways to tell the same story, and we can all remember stories differently from what actually happened, right? But it is getting close to our bedtime, so let's draw a circle on our forehead and let's think of a good dream while we do that. That's what I'm going to dream about candy and unicorns and a flying Pegasus. And I'm going to pop that dream right in to my brain. Get ready for bedtime. And then let's do our bedtime rhyme before we go. We have one fluffy quilt for my bed. 2 soft pillows for my head. 3 teddy bears to hold on tight. 4 kisses for a restful night. And 5 big hugs. Then out goes the light. Good night, friends. I hope you have sweet dreams.